Hi, I'm René Boer with my good friend and long-term client, Kevin Krak, who is the president and CEO of Gallant, or he was until recently when he decided to sell his business. And so this is a topic near and dear to both of us, and it's around letting go of the vine. So we're going to have a conversation with Kevin. So Kevin, welcome.
Good morning, Renee. How are you?
I've really been looking forward to this because this is the ultimate letting go.
Well, I've still got 65 days to go. So
okay, all right. But we're always talking about letting go of low value activities. But you've done the ultimate, which is selling your company and letting go of the organization that you've worked years and years to build. So just really looking forward to this. When you think about all the time that we worked together, which had to be 5 or 6 years, what was the most difficult aspect of letting go?
Lots of things, really. I've been part of our organization for going on 29 years now. So having seen and to a certain extent sat in every seat as the organization grew and flourished, I found challenge not necessarily in the letting go piece, but the keeping it let go, if that makes sense, right? Because invariably, low-hanging fruit for myself is perhaps higher hanging fruit for others at a different stage in their professional development. So I would gladly let those things go, but then ultimately find frustration or angst or impatience or what have you when I invariably saw individuals not be able to produce results to which I was accustomed or I was capable. And trust me, I understand the fallacy in that, but it's really hard to sit on the sidelines and watch somebody else perhaps struggle with something that is almost mindless and second nature to you. So yeah. Keeping it let go has been the biggest challenge for me, for sure.
So when you think about the 4 quadrants of that delegate and elevate exercise, the upper left-hand quadrant being things that you love to do and you're great at, to things that are below, the bottom 2 quadrants, things that you're good at, but you just don't like doing them anymore because maybe you're burned out or you're just tired of it. And then that bottom right-hand quarter, things that not only do you not like doing them, you're not even good at doing them. Where did you find that of those quadrants, what were the ones that were the hardest? Which one was the hardest to let go
of? Probably the good at, don't like doing, which is the ultimate frustration, right? Because I want to let go of these things that I'm good at because it's time for others to do them. I don't necessarily like doing them, but because of, in some ways, my controlling nature and the skill sets I've developed, I invariably found those to be the most difficult because in many ways, those are the blocking and tackling of the organization, right? They're the things that on a daily basis keep us running, keeps the trains on time, those sort of things. So as we grow in our leadership positions, those are less fun and less valuable to us, yet because they're so important to the enterprise, I found myself having a lot of difficulty really relinquishing those to others.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I had a business owner that I had a conversation with a couple of weeks ago, and his hip pocket skill was sales. Natural sales ability. Well, now he's in a different organization as the president and CEO. And he said, René, what I let go of was a quadrant 1 activity. So one of the things that he loves to do and he's great at is selling. But now as the CEO and president of the company, he realized that, man, this was tough, but I got to let go of something that I really love doing and I'm great at.
I can definitely identify with that too. We, as you know, are a construction company, and I do have an inherent love for the construction process and the project management process. And having grown up in the industry and having been a project manager, I love doing that kind of work. That definitely is a quadrant one activity for me. But as president and CEO, it's probably the least thing I should be spending my time doing relative to some of the other higher value activities that come with my current role. So yeah, I get that for sure.
If you could dial back, say 4 years, and this is advice that you're giving to yourself,
Right.
and because this might be advice that you could share with others that are feeling the same thing that you're feeling, what would that advice be?
One, there is not only value in letting go, there's an absolute need in the organization. Because when I look back, the things I didn't let go on, to a certain extent, stunted our development and growth, and probably stunted the development and growth in others. So certainly, number one, letting go. But two, like finding, if not comfort, meaning in the space that letting go creates. We're all, in many ways, I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, founders that are type A personalities, right? So a great day for us is when we have a million things to do. That is not necessarily the best thing for the organization. And frequently I found myself trapped in, all right, I've let some things go. I've created some space in my day. Well, now what do I do? It seems like I have nothing to do, which means I'm a slacker and I'm not working hard. So I better find some of those things back. That's just so false in terms of what's best for the organization. So letting them go, but then also using that space that letting go creates to really define what the high value activities and associated results are for the organization. I think inherently, as a leader grows within an organization up to and including the top role, a great day is not any longer defined by a full day. And the things that got us to that point at some point start reversing. And 4 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I should have paid more attention to the reversal of those, good fortunes and figured out how better to produce results, even though it might have been less than the full day I was used to.
What has been the benefit to you of being envisaged, and how did your peers help you?
Unbelievable benefit, mostly centering around sitting in a room with other people in similar positions at different stages of their career that have no interest other than to help you better your results, whatever they may be. So I've been a Vistage member for 14 or 15 years now, and being able to collaborate with people that are going through the same thing I'm going through. Some have gone through it already, some have not yet entered that, but that collaborative juice that organization provides has been the most invaluable thing by far. And it's funny, it's in some ways similar to EOS. It's not only the work that you're doing, but it's the synergy that comes from having conversations with like-minded people all in the same room that generally spark the big solutions or big ideas. Just invaluable, super powerful.
I guess my advice for anyone listening would be, if you're not in a peer group, get into a peer group, and Vistage is certainly one of those.
I mean, one idea that comes out of a Vistage meeting or an EOS session by far pays for that 10 times over in a year. So if you are not part of a peer group, I strongly advise to get into one.
So Kevin, what's next for you? You're still a young guy. You've got a lot of mileage in front of you. What's next? What's the next chapter in your life?
More business adventures for sure. While my time with this organization is quickly drawing to a close, I've acquired a lot of skill over these many years. And I think I'm going to start first with Nothing other than creating some space to see what comes into it. You know, I've been working since I was 13, so I've never really had the opportunity to create some space to figure out what's next. And along the lines of what we just spoke of understanding that a great day is not necessarily a full day, I'm going to use that space here after the first of the year to see what enters. But I absolutely want to leverage my skills, leverage my experience, leverage the things that I do love to do, especially from a leadership perspective in new business adventures. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that you'll see me lead an organization again. And, you know, I wouldn't doubt that we might be working together again in a new place.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what happens. One final thought, as I contemplated the sale of this organization and moving on, you know, one thing that you always said was your job is to help CEOs get what they want. I thought a lot about that and recognizing that where I was at was not necessarily what I wanted. You and your words and EOS helped me get to ultimately what the next adventure is. So if it's awesome, thank you. If it's horrible, I'll probably be calling you to give you some grief.